Hello, Jordan.
What's up, Michael?
We're matching.
Dude, black sweatshirts. If you're watching on YouTube,
Black hoodies.
You see us matching. Did not do that purposefully. Got a little fiber tortilla with some cheese in there, some Babybel cheese. High fiber, high protein, low calorie, very filling.
Whoa.
High fiber,
yes.
Moderate protein.
Yeah, moderate
well, no,
to
there's
low.
actually a fair amount of protein in the tortilla, actually.
Like 9 grams.
Yeah, which is pretty high for the tortilla, you know? And I had 3 tortillas and 3 cheeses. So overall, it's definitely enough to maximize protein synthesis.
It's enough to maximize protein synthesis. As a percentage of calories, it isn't a highly recommended meal towards clients, but to hit your protein level
My
plus
clients,
fiber.
it is. Maybe not your clients.
No. You would never suggest 3 tortillas with cheese as a fat loss meal.
Dude, absolutely I would.
No, you wouldn't. I know you're... Go back. If anyone here is believing Jordan, go back to his website from 2012 to 2016 and read the fat loss nutrition articles, and you'll see the gold. I am having a muscle milk.
And you just had almonds.
Non-paid promotion. I had a few almonds for the taste and the sodium.
How many? You had 3? Or how many?
No. I didn't literally have. I didn't literally have a few. I had somewhere between 16 and 18. About 0.6 servings.
Nice. There's like 180 calories or something.
No, less than that. Maybe 100 calories.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Podcast, weekly uploads every Tuesday. Here we are.
Every week, no matter what. Thanksgiving week. You got Thanksgiving plans?
So many years back, not many years, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, all of my family was playing this game, Apples to Apples. Have you ever played that game?
Mm-hmm.
And the card was something along the lines of lazy or relaxing, like one of those. And for me, I had Thanksgiving, which I thought was a brilliant play because on Thanksgiving, I go over to my parents' house and I lay down on the couch at about 11 a.m. And the only reason I move is to stuff my face with calories from 11 a.m. until about 10 p.m. And then I go home and I comatose. And so Thanksgiving is the laziest day of the year for me. So I play the Thanksgiving card thinking this is easy. This is the biggest clean sweep of my life. I'm winning this round. Somebody else happened to play the card Bubble Bath. And apparently other people work on Thanksgiving, meaning like they're prepping, they're serving food, they're like actually doing things. And so when Bubble Bath beat out Thanksgiving, I was perplexed and said Thanksgiving is by far the most relaxing, lazy day ever. And I said, maybe for you it is, but for some of us, we're actually, contributing.
Yeah,
anyway.
That's fair.
So Bubble Bath won. I lost, but on Thursday, I will be eating somewhere in the neighborhood of 4,000 to 6,000 calories and get a little workout in the morning and then watching football, just having some good family time. How about you?
Are the Vikings playing on Thanksgiving?
They do not. The Vikings play on Monday night against the Bears. I don't know. 49ers versus the Seahawks is the Thursday night game. Detroit plays. Dallas plays.
Are you a turkey guy?
Oh, turkey is criminally underrated.
Oh, wow.
From all of these, like, it's dry, it's done. Basically, you know what? All of these Liver King and Carnivore fanatics who just love their protein jam-packed with fat, prime rib with duck egg and bull testicle and douse it with butter and oil. Like, they basically just want to have a heart attack by age 41. All of these people are slandering turkey, which is an unbelievable high protein food choice. Mm-hmm. I love turkey. And I won't stand for all of the hate turkey has gotten over the last 2 to 7 years.
It's so funny you bring that. My brother just posted My brother's been doing stand-up comedy for many years. He just posted his first ever clip of himself on YouTube today. Like, he's been nervous to do it, and he was like, all right, this is my first stand-up skit I'm putting out. And it was a whole skit about, a lot of it is about weight and food, and he's talking about turkey because Thanksgiving is coming up. And he was like, my brother hates turkey, as do I. I'm not a big turkey fan. And he actually has a hilarious line where he was just like, for everyone who says, oh yeah, you love turkey. Okay, when was the last time you had turkey on your birthday?
Every year.
Do you really?
No, only I used to.
Every year.
Until I got serious about carcinogens, and I have drastically reduced deli meat over the last 18 to 24 months. Prior to that, I had deli turkey all the time.
Well, deli turkey is really good.
Well, Jordan, no, look, I'm not putting a bird in the oven. Like, I don't have that kind of culinary skill. If somebody else put a bird in the oven for me, I'd have turkey for lunch every single day. Put a little gravy on it, up the sodium a little bit. Like, you know, I understand it's a little dry. The protein to fat ratio and satiety benefits of turkey. And like, turkey's basically a nootropic. Turkey is like, turkey has certain compounds in it that are so good for the brain and body and muscular skeletal system. Turkey is an elite, underrated food choice. We need to start putting our feelings aside and putting our taste buds aside. We are a nation and a world obsessed with feelings. We need to put that aside, and we need to use our brains and our logic and understand that this high protein, low fat, beautifully constructed bird is amazing for us. We need to embrace that. But I am very happy for Lee getting out there on YouTube. That's awesome. Good for him.
I was doing an Inner Circle live yesterday, and I forget how it came up, but I said I wanted something like that turducken. Have you ever heard of a turducken?
I have, but refresh my memory.
Bro, it's a duck. No. Okay, it's a turkey stuffed with a chicken inside of it, and inside the chicken is a duck.
Okay.
You ever see Epic Mealtime growing up in like high school, college? You ever see them on YouTube? They like would cook all these crazy meals. They would do. It's awesome. You should check them out. It's like that like 2009, 2010, 2011 era on YouTube. It was just amazing. And this woman in my inner circle, she was like, oh my God, like Central Market, this grocery store in Dallas has turducken. So my wife is out getting a turducken right now that we're going to have that for Thanksgiving. I'm very excited for that. Because duck is criminally underrated from a taste perspective. Obviously higher fat, but like duck, dude, have you ever had duck?
Yeah.
You don't like duck, do you? I can see it in your face.
I don't like duck.
You don't like it? Do you just not like the taste, or you do not like the macros?
Look, I haven't given duck a fair shot. I think maybe 3 times, and I don't love the taste or the macros, but I don't love the taste. Maybe it was poorly made. I would definitely sit down with you and your family and have turducken. I bet it would be wonderful.
You definitely try it. You'll try anything you want. You wouldn't like it though. You wouldn't be a duck guy like you are a turkey guy.
You know what else it is? I can't believe I'm about to say this.
Say it. It's a beautiful bird.
Yeah, like I would have a pet duck, but I wouldn't have a pet turkey.
Really?
No. When I was 4, my great-grandfather, this is one of my first memories, in northern Minnesota on his farm, said, want to come out and watch me basically cut the head off of a turkey? Maybe it was a hen. Might have been a chicken.
This is one of my first memories.
But basically,
hey, Michael,
I don't know how I don't know why my mom let this fly. Rest in peace to my great grandfather. Yeah, he grabbed a chicken, put it on a stump, held it down.
You watched this when you were a little kid?
Had a little mini axe. Yep. One chop, head popped off, body ran around the room headless for like 10 seconds. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wait, was it inside that this happened?
It was in like a barn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No, it wasn't in the kitchen.
What?
Yeah, and then they
He said it
clean
ran around inside. I was like, where were you?
in the barn. Yeah.
Got it. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And then you cooked up that bird and you ate it. So so that was never like a pet type animal for you.
Right.
But a duck, you could have a duck in your house.
I know a lot of people who like duck and even just more savory meats in general. To each their
super
own.
rich. Yeah, I'm a big duck guy. And rotisserie chicken. You don't like rotisserie chicken.
Are you a big duck guy? Oh my gosh, 27 protein, 40 fat. And so if you multiply, because 2.25 times the 40, 80, 90, that's more than a 3-to-1 fat to protein ratio. That's wild.
Yeah. In a survival situation, I'll take duck all day. You know what I mean?
You're on a real survivor kick. Yes. I guess you win the argument with that one.
No, I'm not sure.
Congrats. Then protein is more important than fiber.
Win the argument.
Duck is better than turkey.
Dude,
in case
in the
Jordan and his
bodybuilding
family
sense,
find
you win
themselves.
the argument.
No, not in the body.
Macros?
I'm talking about longevity. I'm talking about health. I'm talking about
well, of course,
saturated
turkey,
fat intake. I'm talking about heart disease. I'm talking about having 70 to 90 be optimal.
Oh, Peter Attia went on Derek from More Plates, More Dates podcast recently. Have you seen that?
I have not.
He had a whole big. It's great because obviously Peter Attia has a lot of friends in the industry who are very big carnivores, and I had never really heard him speak out against it. I hadn't really heard him really discuss it, and Derek just asked him point blank. He was like, "Let's talk about it. What do you think?" And I was very happy to see Peter just be like, I say Peter as though we're friends. I've never spoken with Peter Attia, but he was basically like, this is unbelievably dangerous. This is a terrible, terrible, terrible idea for people to be doing carnivore. And the idea that cholesterol, the whole movement that blood cholesterol doesn't matter at all, like that whole carnivore movement saying that he had a really good example, and he was like, listen, you have to be very careful when you cherry pick data, especially when you're looking at data from the perspective of correlation. He's like, a lot of these people who are saying cholesterol doesn't really matter are basically pulling the same argument and using the same cherry pick data that someone would be like, well, my grandma lived to 95 years old and she smoked a pack of cigarettes every single day. It's like, okay, but that doesn't mean that smoking cigarettes isn't literally increasing your risk of death by 1,000%. It's like, just because your grandma did doesn't mean that everyone or even close to everybody aren't going to have serious negative effects from it. And so to see him really openly discuss it from a factual science-based perspective was very encouraging.
That's awesome. Yeah, the grandma did that in spite of the cigarettes, not because of the cigarettes.
Yeah. And she was probably way more active than you, and walks a lot more, and probably slept better, and likely had lower stress and all of that stuff. Yeah. Had more nature in her life. And again, it wasn't good for her, but it definitely was a unique situation. Now people don't even move.
Yeah, I know. It's so sad and terrible for us. And obviously, there's merit to the argument that total cholesterol might be a less important health marker than we used to think it is, or that total cholesterol is a less important health marker than your ApoB levels or your Lp(a) levels, or even like your LDL plus VLDL compared to total cholesterol. If we're looking at some kind of biomarker that's going to signal better or worse odds of living longer. But yeah, people do sit way too much. That's a fact. I'm standing up right now, just to fight the system. Just gotta fight the system sometimes, you know. I did. I got a haircut yesterday.
It looks good.
I'm not going to say my barber's name because I don't want everyone flooding him. And then I won't be able to get appointments off of this PT podcast.
Looks good, dude.
Dude, yours looks good.
It's clean.
Yours is clean.
No, it's not. I haven't shaved in a few days.
My video's slightly grainy, so it looked clean until I did a real close. Yeah.
Oh, yours. Oh, wait. No, never mind. I looked closer. Oh wow. Oh yeah. Oh wait. It did look good on the grainy. No, never mind. Now that I have a clear view, yeah, you need to shave that up.
No. It still looks good. It just wasn't as clean as it looked.
Yeah. Not really clean.
How many miles a week are you running right now?
About 20 or so. About 20 miles with the 15-pound weighted vest. So it's slow and leisurely. I'm using it as time to listen to my books, my podcasts, and it's really nice actually.
And stay in zone too. You got a weighted vest on you and you're running. Like you can't really do that at a fast pace and stay in zone 2 unless you have unbelievable, like if you've trained that a lot.
Yeah. And I honestly, one of the reasons I like the weighted vest is because the danger of having it is the high impact force and the issue and the struggles people have with their joints. For me, because I'm so aware of that, I go very slow and I'm very soft on my feet, because if I am running without the weighted vest, I can run way faster, which will lead to way higher ground reactive forces. But when I wear the weighted vest, I'm so acutely aware of every step that I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go ridiculously slow, like really make sure I'm using good gait and good running technique. And so I'm not, I have no shin splints, no knee issues. Like my mobility has been improving. I'm really focused on not a high level of speed, more just enjoying the run, enjoying the outside, enjoying nature, enjoying the fresh air, and listening to something good on my podcast or Audible, and that's it. And my time has improved. When I first started doing this, I was doing like 15-minute miles. Now I'm down to like a 10-minute mile, and like I'm not looking to go much faster than that. It's just nice and easy.
And the laws of specificity, like,
yeah, I really want this crazy like bone density to go up from it.
Yeah.
You're getting a treadmill. Did you bought one today, right?
I haven't pulled the trigger yet.
Not the Peloton one, because Peloton shitty treadmills.
Yeah, not safe treadmills.
What treadmill are you gonna get?
The brand I believe is Horizon.
Okay.
I looked at a few. I looked at Matrix. I looked at Life
Don't get
Core.
the Matrix.
I'm not.
Don't get the Matrix.
It's overpriced.
It's a shit. Yeah.
I didn't like the Nordic track. A lot of these treadmills, what you're paying for is the like upgraded electronics. I'm like, oh, there's this giant touch screen where it looks like you're running in nature and you can look at this and like it's interactive, and I don't need any of that. I just want something when it's icy outside, I don't even mind the cold, but if I don't want to slip and fall, and so if it's very icy outside, I want to be able to do something in my basement. And
yeah, smart. If you want to watch something, you could just put it on the TV or put it on your phone. You don't need to have it on that that screen.
Correct.
Yeah. Life Fitness is a really good one.
They're like $6,000 though. Not everyone is loaded. Not everyone's loaded like you are, Jordan.
All right, Michael. We both know that you are way more loaded than I am.
Stop.
Woodway is, I think,
Core?
probably the best from like a running, like how it feels on your joints, the ground impact. Like Woodway, I found, has the best treadmills. I'm not getting one because I'm not as loaded as you are, but you could definitely afford it. You could probably buy one for both of us, no problem. That'd be a good Hanukkah gift.
I'm not even going to address that little non-factual joke that you slipped in there as you build an entire home gym. Hey, did all of your home gym equipment come yet?
No,
all of those machines
almost.
that you purchased?
No, not yet. No, it's a write-off.
Have any of the many? Do you know how that works? You're in Texas. Your write-offs don't amount to as much as my write-offs amount to.
Why? Because I'm paying less in state taxes?
You're paying zero in state taxes, state income tax.
Oh, zero state, but I'm paying less in taxes in general?
Because your effective tax rate is lower than my effective tax rate, which means that you technically save less on your write-offs.
Well, that just sort of ruined my day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But the good news is I was being
competitive.
taxes.
That's true. Yeah, that ruined my day.
But the property tax here sucks. The government gets their money one way or another. Property tax here is terrible.
Is it? What are your proper? Do you know what you'll be paying in property taxes?
In terms of percentage,
Yeah.
you Google it. You tell me.
Texas 45th, 1.8%.
Yeah.
Minnesota 32, 1.12%.
Yeah.
What should we talk about?
Dude, I got an SS bar, which I think we already spoke about.
Mm-hmm.
I got a trap bar. This is like the most genius design for a trap bar I've ever seen, which is the front is open. So I can do like walking lunges or Bulgarian split squats or even like single leg RDLs in it without the leg being like stuck inside that hexagon or whatever it is. I could do step ups with it. It's one of my all-time favorite pieces of equipment already. It's amazing. I'm a huge fan. Huge fan.
I'm trying to picture it. It somehow is balanced, obviously, because I'm picturing a hexagon with half of the hexagon missing. The back bar part must not be that heavy because you don't feel like it's like if you're doing a walking lunge with the open hex bar, you don't feel like the weight is kind of like shifting backwards.
No, I don't know how they did it. Maybe they like weighted it somehow so that it's still like it's fully balanced. It's fully it's pretty nuts. And they also have a deadlift jack built into it. So you know how it's annoying when you have to pick the bar up, especially a trap bar, and slide the plates on because they built a deadlift jack into the trap bar. So you can roll it onto its side and it stays there. So while you load and unload the plates, they slide on and off, no problem. It's like
wild. One
of the most genius pieces of equipment I've seen. It's really fantastic.
That's awesome. I'm glad you're getting good use out of it.
Yeah. And then I got a dip bar attachment for my squat rack, which is not the full power rack. It's just a stand. Yeah, dude. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool because obviously I'm getting more equipment that will take up more space, but I could just have all the equipment I have right now and like I could be set for life. It takes up like, I don't know, 15 feet. You have everything you need. It's like you don't need much more than that. So it's
is the dip bar that goes straight into the dip bar attachment that goes into the rack, does it feel stable?
Yeah.
Nice.
100% stable. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was doing weighted dips on it this morning. It felt great.
I got to get down to the Sciat home gym.
Dude. Yes, you do.
Have you seen hype out there, in the feeds, on the social, in the places where I haven't been going, around lengthened partial range of motion reps for hypertrophy?
Dude, yes. Very recently, I've seen a fair amount about it. That's crazy that you just said that because someone texted me about it yesterday. It's a big thing right now. It's a big. What do you think about it? What have you've got your ear to the ground on this one?
The bros were always right. So there is mounting evidence around the fact that doing partial reps in the lengthened part of the range of motion. So on a bench press, we're talking about the bottom half of the range of motion from your chest to halfway up when your pec is lengthened, not to the top half of the range of the motion where your pec is shortened. There's mounting evidence that doing those lengthened partial reps are definitely more effective for muscle growth than a half rep in the shortened range, and potentially slightly more beneficial for hypertrophy than a full range of motion rep. And I haven't dug into any of these studies, so I'm not like, I'm at this point, I'm just headline reading on this. But it's, like you'll see the super jacked dude who clearly doesn't even know what evidence-based means, but he's out there doing like constant tension bottom half, like pumping it out on a flat dumbbell press. And he was doing this in the 80s, and he was doing it in the 90s and in the 2000s, and like he's still doing it. He didn't care that he was catching smoke for, oh, you need to do the top half of the range of motion if you actually want to grow. It's like, well, clearly this is working, so I'm going to keep doing this. It's interesting to see the bros constantly be ahead of the science by sometimes 5 years and sometimes 45 years.
Dude, yeah, this is definitely like ahead by 45 years scenario, because I have the image of that dude in my head very clearly on an incline bench press with a barbell doing like right around half the range of motion, just bop, 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 bop. Mm-hmm. And then there's the dudes in the corner who are like super skinny and listen, I'm not jacked. I'm just picturing, this is the scene in my head where it's like, they're like, idiot, not even fully locking out. Meanwhile, this guy is like repping 315 with like for the partial range of motion. And these nerds are always like, not even using a full range of motion. Like, shut the fuck up. It's so funny. It is very funny how the bros have been ahead on this and basically everything for a long time. And that's the funny thing, is because no matter what new methods come out, no matter what, like there will not be any new research that comes out that changes strength and conditioning or bodybuilding or any of these things like radically. There will never again be new research that comes out that completely and utterly changes the way that we think about these types of training or these types of performance enhancement methodologies. Like, it just won't, because it's already been done. Like, we might have slightly more understanding of the mechanisms behind why it works now, but there will be nothing that changes the way that we train optimally that hasn't already been done for many, 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 many years.
Yeah, I think you're right, especially because so many people have tried so many different methods that, there's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything differently. I'm not like, doing a ton more partials. I mean, for one, I think the difference between a full range of motion and a lengthened partial is minuscule, right? So if there is a benefit for muscle growth, it's very small. It's hard enough to grow muscle as it is. And so if you add a very, very small increase on something that are, if you're advanced, you can gain a few pounds of muscle a year. If you're not using drugs, like, what is a very small, a single digit percentage on top of 2 pounds a year of muscle, like basically nothing. And so, I see one of the benefits, which is that it allows you to go past failure, right? If you think about, about a lat pull down and you can't get it all the way down, but you could do a half rep. You could do two of those, like, from the top, get it like halfway down. And then you could do a couple more like third reps. And so you're training the muscle past failure in that lengthened position. I can see a little bit of benefit there. I also like training to failure is miserable enough. Taking reps past failure by 5 to 10 partial reps, like, I don't want muscle that much that I'm going to be implementing that in my own training. Maybe with a small percentage of clients playing with it, but yeah, I'm waiting to see and hear more. Just interesting to see the bros be ahead.
Yeah, prop to the bros. I like it from the perspective of you can make your training and especially the training of your clients more interesting and fun without worrying about sacrificing results. Where it's like, all right, so instead of doing just regular bench press for the 5,000th time, now we're going to do constant tension partial reps. And, it's going to be an entirely new sensation. It's a completely different sensation to do constant tension partial reps than it is to do full reps, lockout every single time. Like, it's very different. So you can change it up. You can change the intensity. You're going to be using different weights. Your coaching is going to be different. Your cueing is going to be different. And for them, it's a new movement to try and hit a personal record on and try and get better at. And you can literally incorporate this with any exercise that you want, which one of the big issues is people get burnt out and they get tired of doing the same thing and they want some variety in their training. So you don't have to worry that, oh my God, like doing these constant tension or these partials is going to hurt your progress. It actually might even benefit them, but at the very least, you'll get the same results from doing partials and you don't need to worry about it. It's fine.
With increased psychological stimulation of, adding variety to training, keeping it fun and interesting. Are 1.5 reps something that you got from Louis?
Yeah, I mean, the whole concept of the conjugate method, or one of the major, not the whole part, but a major concept of the conjugate method was just variation. And so I don't know if the 1.5 rep is something I got from Louis, or if it's something that I got from Eric Cressy, or if it's something that I got from like maybe a Nick Tuminello article back in the day, or or something. I don't know. I have no idea where I got the 1.5 reps, but definitely I think it has roots in what Louis brought to the industry. That's for sure, at the very least.
Because what you're doing there is you're essentially alternating between a full range rep and a lengthened partial rep. Same with pause reps. I mean, they're not giving you a rep, like a partial rep, but they're giving you more time under tension in the lengthened position. Same with controlled eccentrics. Like, it's interesting.
When I was coaching powerlifters and when I was coaching them and when I was competing myself, I loved 1.5 squats and 1.5 bench press, because the hardest part of the squat and the bench press is the bottom. So the most difficult part of that movement of the squat is to get out of the hole, and the most difficult part of the bench press is to get it off your chest. And so for every 1.5 rep, you get 2 chances. You're practicing that specific part of the movement twice, which is like you literally get double the number of reps that you would from a normal repetition scheme. And that for me just made all the sense in the world to just essentially double the amount of reps you get at the most difficult point in the lift. So in addition to all the hypertrophy benefits, also the strength, the neurological benefits, the skill development benefits, that always made a lot of sense to me, especially for the squat and the bench press.
Cool.
Good talk.
What else we got?
I don't know if you want to do Q&A. I don't know where my phone is.
Wow. You are zen. You are divorced from technology. You are a man of your grandfather's era. You are living in nature. You're living right. You're living in nature. You're rucking. You're carrying the boats. Raising your family. You're not on technology. You don't even have a phone, basically.
I wish that was the case.
You're living right.
No, I think it's just in the kitchen. I was rushing because I was a couple minutes behind for the podcast. I think I accidentally left it in the kitchen because I had my tortilla and cheese in hand.
See, and now you're just being modest.
No,
you're very humble. You have a great deal of humility, and you're just living right.
All right. What were you going to say? You were going to say something.
I don't know what I was going to say. Do you buy your own clothes, or does your wife buy your clothes?
My wife buys my clothes. Why do you ask?
Nice.
What, do you buy your clothes?
Well, I don't really buy clothes. I just wear the same thing, and I have been for years and years. But I noticed that you have like variety, and you're kind of styling.
Dude, I've had this sweatshirt since I lived in New York. You borrowed this sweatshirt from me in New York.
I know, and I love it. And you haven't worn it in a long time that I remember, and you just have variety. You have really good style.
I don't have
one
good
time
style,
I visited you in Texas, and we
were
were going out to dinner, and I didn't know like what kind of dinner, and Jordan shows up in like a sport coat, like just looking good. You have style.
That was the suit coat that I wore at our wedding. I only have one suit coat.
And you pulled it out at the perfect moment.
You know what it is? I get really nostalgic with clothing, and I don't like getting rid of it, which my wife hates. So I have, because I've accumulated clothes over the years, and I don't like to get rid of any of them. So she'll try like donating them when I'm not watching, and then I'll notice. I'll be like, put that back. put that back.
Yeah,
I got that sweatshirt when I was like in high school. Don't take that away.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a lot of variety because I've had so many, and I don't get rid of them. But yeah, you've got the black sweatshirts and the white t-shirts and the black t-shirts, and you've got but you don't have a lot of variety. You do have a lot of clothes. You just a lot of the same clothes.
Well, yeah, I don't wear the same white t-shirt every day. I have many of them.
Yeah, you have a lot of white tees and a lot of black tees.
Yeah.
How's your training been going? How's your lifts been?
I have come to an interesting conclusion.
Okay.
I'm going to start by not answering your question. And then if I don't get all the way there, remind me, which you're not going to remember.
It's like a real
either.
politician move. All right.
No,
okay, cool. I hear your question. Now I'm going to answer it in a way that doesn't even discuss what you brought up.
No. What I want to do is I want to lay the foundation and get back to it, but I might forget to get back to it. And if I do, remind me. But I think you'll probably forget too. So then the listeners are just going to be hung out to dry.
We're going to circle back to it. We're going to circle back.
I've come to an interesting conclusion that processed foods and desserts are plus EV for my brain and minus EV for my body. So when I am eating quote unquote clean, my body feels much better. I progress faster on lifts. I look a little bit leaner and a little bit denser, probably because in the absence of tracking, like unprocessed foods just lead to a little bit lower total calories. And with protein consistent, like I lose a little bit of fat, I look better, whatever. Processed foods and desserts give me so much enjoyment and happiness in my brain that it's like this internal war between being mentally stimulated and happy versus having like 0.005% low grade depression of not enjoying those foods, but experiencing all of the physical benefits, the lower risk of tweaking something, less inflammation in the body, strength gains, aesthetics, like just looking really like there's pros and cons, and I've been letting the brain beat the body recently with, a little Snickers here or like a little frozen yogurt there or a little pudding cup, like these interesting, enjoyable things.
Like chocolate pudding cup?
Yeah, Swiss Miss. It's got like a chocolate layer and then a vanilla layer and then a chocolate layer. It's only 100 calories. It's wild. I don't know how they make these things. And so, to answer your question, sir, how has my training been going? Not quite as optimal as if my nutrition was more dialed. I also training for health is so much easier and more intuitive to me than training to gain muscle. Training to gain muscle is exhausting. Like time in physically exhausting from the volume, mentally taxing, just, the number of sets you have to take close to failure, that I have to take close to failure at this stage of my training career. The payoff, which isn't that much muscle at this stage of my training career. The mental downside of having nutrition cleaner, quote unquote, because I feel better that way. The mental downside of calories being higher around muscle gain. I feel like I'm trying to justify to myself why I'm not training to gain more muscle, which is interesting. It's a nice little therapy session. Not to mention I just feel better doing a little bit less volume, doing more cardio. Yeah. And so my training's not the most impressive it's ever been, but I'm happy with it and it feels good. And I want to actually start doing more cardio, hence treadmill.
Wow.
And yeah, also just random movements. I should probably get back to some kind of definitely not jiu-jitsu, but some kind of fighting.
Muay Thai.
For the enjoyable zone 5 upside. I'm not going to be doing sprints on the treadmill. I'm my hips and my low back are just past that at this point in my life. But doing doing like 18 minutes all out, 3 on whatever in like these classes are pretty legit. So like working that in once a week with a solid zone 2 base with 3, maybe 4 lifts a week that aren't like, 10 exercises per workout, but are maybe like 4 or 5 exercises per workout, is probably the direction my training is heading, which feels like I'm giving up on the joke dream of winning the Olympia, which is never actually going to happen. Also, because there's a I'm remembering now, like there's a suboptimal amount of muscle for health. And I'm not there yet. I'm not saying like, gaining more muscle is going to stress my other organs and is going to like reduce my lifespan. But at a certain point it does, which is great. Like, I think it's cool when people make that sacrifice, but I'm not that interested in that sacrifice at this point. I also don't necessarily think the aesthetics of being over muscle bound, I don't know, maybe you just don't think they're as cool as maybe I once did compared to just having a normal amount of muscle and being lean. I'm just spitballing here. So that's how my training is going.
Yeah. Dude, I remember in high school, like I would see pictures of those dudes on the magazines and posters at GNC and stuff, like clearly the most roided out dudes you could ever imagine. And I would actually think that is so cool and that is so awesome to look like that. That I would get my Super Pump 250 from Gaspari Nutrition, that like crazy pre-workout. And you remember that one? I get like blue raspberry. You wouldn't get Super Pump oh man, that was like the best. Oh my god, I would have that 30 minutes before the end of school. Oh my god, let me look it up
in high school.
Just make sure. Yeah, Super Pump.
I only took muscle milk in high school. Everyone was taking like NO Explode and VO2 or something, V12 it was called, back in 2004, 2005. Oh, it probably had what's that, demethylate, basically meth. DM.
Dude, wow, I bet it did.
You were doing meth in high school. I knew it.
Clearly. It got, FDA issues warning on that DMAA.
Yeah.
Wow, that's exactly right. That's crazy.
Yep. That's why people like it so much. It's addictive.
Dude, that would get me so hyped for my workouts in high school. Clear. That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, man. But I remember looking at those posters of these dudes and just being like, I want to look like that. Like that's amazing. And now I look at those posters and I'm like, that looks so, it's funny because now I see those posters. Back when I was in high school, I thought that was possible without steroids. And I thought that was possible, not just without steroids, but without an exorbitant amount of steroids and severely abusing your body. And now, instead of looking at that and saying, wow, that is so cool, now it's like, ugh, like whatever they had to go through to get that and whatever they're sacrificing is just so...
What they had to go through...
It's still cool, to be honest, but...
and impressive, but just not our goals.
Yeah.
What they had to go through to put on that amount of muscle, which is like its own bucket of impressiveness. And then what they had to go through to get that lean plus that dry and like that photo shoot ready, which is its own bucket of impressive and miserable. Like to get that one still shot, it's not, I don't think anyone's arguing it is optimal for health, but there's training for health and training for aesthetics have a very high degree of overlap, but they start to diverge once you are going past a certain amount of muscle mass and once you are going below a certain body fat percentage. And those levels are a little bit different for everyone, but I think I've just unfortunately diverged, or fortunately, towards the health side.
I love that, man. I love that. I know that it feels like difficult for you. I know.
Feels like I lost a loved one. Not actually.
I feel like, and I know we're still like very young. I know we're very young, obviously, but I feel like when I hit 30, dude, we're young. I feel like when I hit 30, something happened where recovery, like it's hard to even articulate what it feels like, but the physical recovery from workouts is something that I never really even had to pay attention to before I hit 30. And within the year that I turned 30, I noticed it took longer to recover. Things feel, dude, I get like this weird catch in my elbow where like I'll try and extend my elbow, and once every like 800 times it will just catch, and I can't straighten my elbow unless I like, and like I have to power through it. My wife is like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "My elbow's stuck," or like my finger will like have this weird thing, and it's odd, and I notice it more, and so I have to really moderate the intensity and volume of my training way more than I did in my 20s. And so and like, yeah, it's very interesting to notice. And you know, in 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s, I'm sure it will get even more pronounced and more difficult, but it is something very interesting to be aware of at even such a relatively young age.
Yeah, that's another piece of it.
Which really makes you have huge respect for, you know, people like Tom Brady playing at the best in the league and into his 40s. Or there's this fighter named Glover Teixeira who is literally the UFC champion at like 41 years old. Like, the amount of training that you have to do at a certain intensity and still be in your 40s and performing like that is crazy. Or you see, you know, these men and women in the gym who are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s who are just lean and strong and jacked. And you're like, geez, it's incredible. It really is extraordinary.
Yeah, really impressive. I mean, every decade it becomes harder to maintain, and thereby makes it even more impressive.
What motivates you to work out right now?
I just know it's the right thing to do. I feel good after. I don't drink that much.
Do you enjoy it during it?
Yeah. Yep. I think
during the workout, you're like, yeah.
Part of that, though, I've been thinking about this. Part of that is that I stack the majority of my caffeine right before my workouts. And so, and I have forever. And so I think I've actually like trained myself to enjoy working out by linking those two, right? Like increased dopamine, like I'm in an elevated state. It feels good while I'm doing it. No, I don't enjoy, you know, a 24, 28 working set workout that takes 2 hours where I have to kill myself. I don't enjoy those, but I enjoy a 45 to 60 minute lift. Yeah. And just feel better after. Like, know it's the right thing to do. It's honestly, dude, I was ragging. Maybe we close this the way we started it. I was kind of going in on duck, which to each their own, by the way. But I actually feel better 45 minutes after eating turkey than I do a fatty cut of meat like duck. After that, maybe it's more decadent, or maybe it like technically has a taste that is more sophisticated, but like I would feel worse after eating duck than after eating turkey.
You think is that a mental thing, or it's actually a physical response?
1,000,000% physiological. And maybe that's not everyone. Maybe that's, in my DNA. Right? Different people have different palates.
I think it is DNA, because I definitely feel better slightly higher fat than you do. I think you feel better super low fat, higher carb, high. Yeah.
Moderate, yeah. Well, even different kinds of fat.
You're a big protein guy.
But even on food choices, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of some examples of foods that I think that because I've noticed overlap on foods that you and Gary like that I don't like. And super small like sample size.
Ashkenazi Jew.
Similar part of the world. But
I mean, my family's from Russia as well.
Name some foods you like. Like a lot of tomato-based things.
Okay, tomato. Yeah, shakshuka.
Yeah, tomato base. I remember Gary asking me once, like, why tomato isn't used as a base, similar to how mushroom is used as a base, because he likes tomato so much that it could be like the base part of a meal.
Dude,
like cured meats, or
I don't like cured meats.
no, like prosciutto, or like
Oh, I love prosciutto.
okay, okay.
I don't like cured. Oh, I love prosciutto.
I don't know how much caviar exposure
Melon
you've
wrapped in
had.
prosciutto. Oh, I love caviar.
Yeah,
I don't
see-
get it because I'm not rich, but I do love caviar. Snails, love snails. Yeah.
This is by the way, this is episode 150 of the How to Become a Personal Trainer podcast. We are going to look back on this in the coming 5 to 10 to 20 years as Jordan becomes a caviar fiend. And we're going to be like, remember that time when you were like, I don't like caviar? Or whatever you just said.
I like. I said I like caviar. I just don't have it because I'm not wealthy.
That's right. That's right. And we're going to see how much you're consuming caviar and be like, remember that time? That was the turning point.
If I'm just publicly downing caviar, then yeah, I definitely am doing
No, you
well.
won't be. It'll be private, but I'll know about it. And then I'm going to out you.
You'll come over and there's just like cans of caviar in my fridge
everywhere.
and be like, wow.
What is all this? Oh, Jordan loves caviar. He eats it every day.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know that.
He does carnivore, but with caviar now.
I think there are definitely different palates, and different people like different foods, and different foods make them feel different.
So for you, turkey is like your number one food that really makes you feel good?
I wouldn't say number one. No. I mean, I love myself.
All right, what's like number one?
Well, I mean, number one, it depends. Depends on what time of day. Depends on the mood. Depends what I feel like my body needs. I think I'm an actual intuitive eater.
Yeah, you are an intuitive eater.
No. I think I can be like, okay, my blood level, my vitamin D levels are slightly low right now. Like, I need to supplement that. Like, I'm like slightly low on essential fatty acids, and like don't have enough amino acids in me. Like, okay, salmon is the meal for me right now. I think I'm that dialed in.
Yeah, you like know what's going on internally. Like, you know that like you're like
Heart rate's like 67 right now. Yeah, like the creatine levels are a little bit on the low side. Should like bump from 4 to 6 grams tomorrow. Like, I think I'm that dialed.
Yeah. I think you are.
Or I'm just out of my mind. One of the two.
No.
What
I
food
think
makes
you
me
just know.
What food makes me feel the best? Salmon's definitely up there. Salmon with white rice.
Yeah.
Because it's like what food is
jasmine
healthy,
rice.
gives me energy. Yeah. This coconut jasmine, I'm telling you, it's incredible.
Oh, I need to get the coconut version. I've just been having a lot of jasmine rice.
You should stick to that.
Why?
It's kind of like it's hedonic adaptation, right? Like, you're really enjoying jasmine rice. Why would I add saturated fat to that? Make it taste even better. The first 3 times you have it, you're like, this is even better than regular jasmine rice. But then that's your new baseline. That's your new normal. And you can never go back down to jasmine rice. And then for the rest of your life, you have to be having 7 extra grams of saturated fat per serving. And then when you look back on your life and you're like, oh, my whatever, VLDL is higher than it should be right now. Like, what's going on? Be like, well, when I was 32, Mike convinced me to have coconut jasmine. I've been having that every day since. And he just knocked 4 years off the back end when I could have just had regular jasmine rice.
You just convinced me I'm never having coconut jasmine rice ever. I'm just going to only stick with salmon and regular jasmine rice.
Yeah. Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't do drugs. Don't have coconut.
Thank you for listening. If you hated this episode, we still love you. Have a great day. See you next week. Happy Thanksgiving. See you soon. Goodbye.
See ya.